Raw dogging is not funny. This is a serious matter.
Raw Dog News.
Raw dogging is a term that is considered slang, and it means unprotected.
781 dispatch.
Are you kidding me?
Okay,
That's
all right.
awesome.
All right.
You did so good.
This morning, the sound of U.S. Navy sailors reacting to a radar screen tracking unidentified objects flying around their stealth ship.
138 knots. Fast.
At times, the radar lighting up with 9 objects that could be similar to those captured on night vision and infrared video, swarming warships for nearly a week in July of 2019, then disappearing without a trace.
That one's pretty much perfectly 000 relative, right?
Yeah.
At one point, 2 objects suddenly vanishing from the screen, something experts say can happen with smaller targets. But the man who released the leaked video, Jeremy Corbell, says it might suggest the objects went above or below the radar range.
It's moving above the capacity for that radar to see it, or they're moving below, which would mean into the water.
Earlier this month, the filmmaker released another video showing a flying sphere drop into the ocean,
What was splashed?
saying USOs, or unidentified submerged objects, have also been tracked by the military. When asked about the radar video, a Pentagon spokesperson would only confirm they were taken by Navy personnel and were part of a review of unidentified aerial phenomenon, but wouldn't comment about how they were released.
There's a lot of pressure by the global public and the American public, for answers.
And after years of Navy
From the
fighter
start.
pilots also reporting other incidents where flying objects seem to accelerate instantly or fly at supersonic speeds without breaking the sound barrier, lawmakers on intelligence committees are demanding answers.
There's enough obvious evidence here that we need to take this seriously, not downplay it, and try to gather as much information as we can to figure out
back in time.
what is it these pilots are seeing.
But I see the future. I see exploration and courage.
What is it these pilots are seeing?
I see my country finding new horizons out there. And I see giant leaps making a comeback. I see myself. The future is where I'll make history.
What is it these pilots are seeing?
UAPs, is that the correct terminology these days?
Yes, I think that's their pronoun, yes.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon. Unidentified aquatic phenomenon.
Apparently.
You can use the same initials.
Yes.
An unidentified flying object doesn't cut it anymore.
No, and neither does USO, apparently.
The spirit of the USO, the official march of the USO. The words were written by Prescott S. Bush, none other than the father of President George Herbert Walker Bush and grandfather of George W. Bush, 43rd President of our United States. We want to dedicate this performance to that family who has given this nation so many years of distinctive service.
The big band sound coming through. With some EVPs thrown in.
Okay, so let's break this down. So, we've had a government that has been lying to us for probably over 70 years, correct?
We know that to be a fact.
Right.
Because, the government has said so, basically, that they've
Right.
lied many, many times.
Right. And so now they released some grainy footage of some pilots flying and seeing something. God only knows what it is, but it's something, and it's very grainy. Some of it's like, footage from like a camera on board a plane or something, like an infrared footage or something, I don't know. And then we have the Doritos video, where the green Doritos, triangle Dorito is flying around the submarine. But that looks like it's being taken by someone's phone, and it just looks silly anyway. It looks like someone's just fucking with a kite or something, I don't know. And then we have this new one, which is of radar, and these guys on a ship talking. I gotta tell you something, man. I totally don't believe it.
Well, there's a pretty prominent YouTuber and scientist. His name is Phil Mason. He goes by Thunderfoot.
All of these videos have been leaked in the past, but the US government now confirms they are genuine.
And he's done a few debunking videos related to these sightings. And his conclusions
unidentified
are
aerial
that
phenomena. I wonder what they could possibly be. And look, let's track them. And they change direction magically like that, defying gravity with no obvious signs of propulsion.
Now they're saying unidentified aerial phenomena, and that is, it's a term borrowed from the British government. We used it in the Ministry of Defence, and we meant UFOs.
And the guy running the sensor on the plane is probably bored out of his mind, and he's just trying to get a lock on to the duck. Actually, maybe it looks more like a seagull to me. And he's tried several times to get the lock on, and when he does, it goes zoom, it goes fast. How can that be? And how can this truly be a sign that we are not alone?
And nobody's paying attention to this. I mean, this seems like a watershed moment. I mean, we have all this tape.
Birds and planes. And he goes through a pretty comprehensive explanation as to why he thinks this is true. One of the ways he's showing this is by filming a jet in regular light and then switching over to infrared, and it looks exactly like the image of the craft that people are wondering about, with all those circular rings around the black and white image in the middle where it looks like there's no propulsion.
Yeah.
But when you switch back into regular light, it's clearly a plane. The Tic Tac, the footage of the Tic Tac flying along the top of the surface of the ocean, if you look closely enough, you can kind of see what might be flapping wings. Like, right. The thing is, nobody knows because there hasn't been a definitive answer.
Well, nobody knows because the government hasn't told them so yet, and CNN hasn't covered exactly what they said verbatim as fact.
Right, but Occam's razor is a real thing, which is,
Yes.
If you're not familiar with the principle, it's that the simplest answer is most likely the truth regarding any unknown thing.
Right.
We can imagine this stuff to be anything, but if you look back at some of the origins of these videos, I mean, the recent stuff, it's not new. It's not exactly new. You have the same types of leaked stuff going back a year now, at least.
Right.
At least a year, and the pilots were saying that they had seen these things for the better part of 2 years every day.
Right.
So that doesn't make a lot of sense either, because if this had been going on all the time, why now?
Right.
Why not as it ongoing? It's, hey, we saw another one. Oh my gosh, there's more. It's every day. You wait 2 years for that? That seems.
Yeah.
That's like terrible. That would be like if word got out that we had known 2 years prior to the 9/11 attacks that they were planning, like specifically, like someone saw them planning this stuff out and didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem I have with this.
Right.
Not what it is, but why would you wait this long?
I mean, also we have to think about, like, okay, so ATIP, whatever that was, the AATIP, I can't look it up right now, AATIP. Can you tell me what that is?
Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
Okay, so what happened with that? When did it close?
Okay, so I just pulled up the wiki, and The program was first made public on December 16, 2017.
Okay.
The program began in 2007 with funding of $22 million over the 5 years until available appropriations were ended in 2012. So it was a program that lasted for 5 years, ended in 2012, was disclosed 5 years after that.
But it ended in 2012.
Officially, correct.
So I can't imagine why these guys are going to be showing up to Congress next week or whatever it is, scaring the shit out of Congress with their fucking, barn burners and they're spinning their yarns. What is their purpose? To get more money for ATIP, right?
So there's a successor program, though, that started in June 2020.
Okay.
Called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force.
Okay.
Now that was unclassified but previously unacknowledged program was made public in June 2020. Okay. So it was acknowledged.
But they don't,
It was acknowledged in June 2020. They don't say when that started. But that it was a direct successor. This is a Harry Reid thing, right?
Right.
So all this stuff, ultimately, it just gets connected back to the same people who were publicizing it for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's the weird thing. Is this a Bob Lazar prank?
Yeah, it almost seems like it's a bunch of guys who have invested in something and they just want to get more money for it.
Well, right. And you think about it. Government program, a 5-year government program that only gets $22 million. Certainly that's a lot of money for an individual or a company or some kind of organization.
But it's not really.
But it's not really, not for a government program.
No.
$22 million over 5 years. That's that sounds like something that, depending on how many people were working on this program, would basically be a regular job, like
right.
pay-wise and stuff.
Right.
Because where's that money going other than into someone's mortgage?
Right. That's the thing. And I kind of feel like this guy's kind of shady. Lou Elizondo. Anyway, I feel like he's just kind of shady. So it's Harry Reid, Lou Elizondo.
Yeah, he was the program director.
Right.
And he founded a public benefit corporation called To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science in 2017. So let's check that out.
Yeah.
It's called To the Stars. It's a company. See, was this funded by that money? Maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So To the Stars. See, this gets back into this stuff with fucking Tom DeLonge.
It's the same shit. It's like
So we got Harold Puthoff and Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 and Angels and Airwaves, who are direct beneficiaries of the ATIP program because that money helped fund this.
Right. Right. But it's not enough money. And so now they're coming back for more money. And they're going public with this now.
In 2017, the company began offering $50 million worth of public stock.
Yeah, I bet they did.
Yeah.
How's their stock doing?
They only sold $1 million of their shares.
Yeah.
And the company has a $37.4 million deficit.
And what do you want to bet, though, that people are going to buy now? That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a mess. So if all of these sightings and all of this information goes back directly to a company that's $37 million in the hole, you would think that all this publicity would probably be beneficial for some fundraising.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's real now. See?
Yeah.
We told you years ago.
Meanwhile, they're just showing us some grainy footage that looks like a bird. Or
right, and then giving all these amazing characteristics, like that it can fly at like 13,000 miles an hour, and
what's remarkable also is that 60 Minutes did a fucking piece on this.
Yes.
Australian 60 Minutes has done it too. It's like,
well, all you need. Look, see, that's the thing. Tom's no dummy. He had a lot of success in Blink-182.
Right.
Most performers don't utilize their audiences like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what comes to mind is the now disavowed Marilyn Manson, who would get up on the stage and tell his audience that he could make them do anything. Like, he could tell them to do anything, and they would. And that's the game. It's fun. You go to a concert and you're like, oh, this guy's telling us to do stuff. Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction used to do funny stuff like that, get up on the stage and like pretend like he was an emperor.
Yeah.
Right, and that's fun. But the idea that these people really do command millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people or whatever, to who are these big fans who listen. So if you're MSNBC or Fox News in Australia and a pop star shows up, you're going to put them on the air.
Yeah.
You're going to put them on the air because they've got all the connections. And especially if it's something as exciting as a UFO. Right. Now you get pop culture, UFO, government, all mixed up together in this great soup.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean anything.
No. And there's no evidence, and there's no fucking... This is all just a whole big pile of donkey dung to me.
Yeah, so you get down to the ultimate question of who benefits. I think to the stars, they're the ones who benefit from this. It can't be any other way. Yeah. They're based in fucking Las Vegas.
Right.
I love it. So yeah, UFOs. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Recruits, first of all, thanks for volunteering to defend our nation, and congratulations on being the first Americans to enlist directly into the United States Space Force. If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me, I'll administer the oath of enlistment. I state your name.
I, Amy Biggers,
do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
According to regulations.
According to regulations.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
The Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and welcome to the United States Navy.